what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. I'm your host, theFellowKGB. You can follow me on Twitter at theFellowKGB. And today it's Friday. I think it's July 17th. It's almost 6 o'clock in the evening. We're going to be doing a best ball draft today. It's going to be a 12-team PPR, but it's kind of a cool, different best ball. We're using drafters.com. They're running a cool event, the Best Ball Championship, they're calling it. Let me hop right into a screen share here, and I can kind of show you guys what we're looking at. But they're doing it's a massive best ball contest where there's going to be a bunch of lobbies filling up. You can get a total of 10,008 people in this. You can have 100 entries yourself, so that's your max entries. But as of right now, they only have 1,666 people in these, so they're going to be filling up until they do. And then if you go ahead and click on the link, there's going to be a little bit more information here. So top prize for first is $10,000. It's only $5.50 to enter. Like I said, you get 100 max entries. 9 of 12 people in this so far, but you're going to go 20 rounds. When the lobby gets filled, that's when the draft starts. You got 60 seconds per timer or per pick. And then for roster settings, it's pretty standard. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. And then standard kind of passing for quarterbacks and full PPR, like we said. But yeah, really cool. It's called their Best Ball Championship, $5.50 to enter. There's going to be a total of 10,008 teams. And yeah, man, we're going to try for the $10,000 spot. I did one of these, was it last night or the night before, just to kind of see how it works. And I think I'm going to probably do a few of these as we go. I think I've done a couple videos where I've just done the $1.10 entry. But drafters.com, really cool. We're just waiting for this lobby to fill, but I'll kind of share what I know about drafters.com. If you sign up with my promo code in the link below, you're going to get a 50% deposit bonus. So say you put in $50, you're going to get $25 back. So you get $75 to play with. So really cool feature there. And then, yeah, they just have, I mean, there's other sports too, but I mean, this is NFL. So I just been doing a bunch of best balls. And you can kind of track your teams. I got a handful of teams here. It looks like almost 10 teams. And then you can also see like your ownership and your history and all that stuff. So I guess at the moment right now, my most owned players, I'm going to hold on to that information. I don't think I'm going to share that with you yet. I'll probably do a separate video talking about that later. But yeah, we're just waiting for the lobby to fill. Only 2 more drafters here. So I think I'm going to pause it. And then when the draft starts, I'll see you guys there. So, all right, guys. So the lobby is filled. It randomizes your draft order. And I got spot 2. So that's exciting. I don't think I've drafted from spot 2 in any other of my best ball videos. Or my mock draft video. So this will be something different. I'm probably not going to get Christian McCaffrey as normal. He should be the default number 1 pick for 2020. So Saquon Barkley would be the next guy up. And if I look here, I'm going to be going back and forth between the draft lobby and my 2020 projection document. But I do have, I'm looking at I have it filtered by flex right now. So we do see Saquon Barkley as my number 2 projected player. Of course, Christian McCaffrey goes number 1. I'm not going to think too much about it. I kind of mentioned that Saquon Barkley's got a tough schedule to start the year. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take Saquon Barkley. You just click his name and hit the green draft button. So we're rolling. We're feeling good. Saquon Barkley, can't complain. But let's look at the New York Giants schedule to start the year, because this alarmed me. It's kind of a tough draw, the first 4 games. Open it up here. So you're going to see week 1, Monday night against the Steelers. That's a top 5 defense. Week 2 against Chicago Bears. That's a top 5 defense. San Francisco 49ers, top 5 defense. LA Rams, not the toughest defense. Cowboys are fine. So maybe I guess I was just looking at the top 3 weeks. So it might be a little bit of a rough start for the New York Giants as like a win-loss. To start the year, but it's going to get a little bit better here. You got the Rams, Cowboys, Redskins, Eagles. The Bucks got a really good rush defense, but again, like any game that's in the NFC East, we get 6 of those with Saquon Barkley, so that's feeling pretty good. But I guess let's take a look here and see who he finishes up in the playoff range. So week 14, we got the Cardinals, the Browns, and the Ravens. So really, it's not as bad as I thought. But those first three games, they're playing, arguably 3 top 5 defenses. So it might be a little bit of a slow start. But I guess to recap here, Ezekiel Elliott goes number 3 overall, Alvin Kamara. And then again, I apologize. This is probably going to be like an hour video, but it's a best ball draft. People are in the lobby. It's not going to be any auto picks unless 1 or 2 guys dip out. and set their cue or something. So it's going to be a slow roller. We'll get a lot of talking and commentary on players, but we're rolling right now. Dalvin Cook at 5, Michael Thomas at 6, Derrick Henry at 7. Congrats to Derrick Henry on his deal. He got paid by the Titans this week. So that's really cool to see. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasters, Sigmund Bloom, just kind of say it sets a really good message to the organization in Tennessee that if you come in and you perform well, you're going to get paid. So that's a really good move by the Titans, and I like that. Kenyon Drake, 8th overall. Miles Sanders, 9th overall. I just did a ESPN mock draft the other night. If you haven't watched that, you can check that out after this. But Kenyon Drake and Miles Sanders went 10th and 11th in that draft. So these guys are starting to creep into the first round. I don't know if I agree with taking those guys over a Devontae Adams or a Tyreek Hill. I think I might zig to one of his receivers. But Austin Eckler, even in the first round, best ball changes everything. I think that's what's kind of cool. There's so much uncertainty. We don't even know if teams are going to be reporting to camp next week. So best ball, it basically is going to take away all the headaches. If you never played best ball, you don't have to set your lineup. You just draft it, and it's going to auto set your lineup every week to the best available scorer. So I think that's going to be kind of how my process of my thinking goes for the 2020 redraft, the dynasty, all that kind of thing. I think I'm going to be thinking about my team as like a best ball league and just trying to get as many good players as I can and not really too worried about, boom, bust, that kind of situation. I'm just going to collect good players. I'm going to probably start targeting running backfields. I'm going to probably start taking, like a receiver in one of his backups kind of situation because there's so much unknown right now. So I think you just got to kind of be on your toes and just keep drafting good teams in good situations. But we saw Austin Eckler at 10, Devontae Adams 11, Joe Mixon 12, finishing out the first round, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb. I really don't know who I'm hoping to get at the 2 turn, the 2 and 3 turn. We're split between this guy here, so we'll have to wait on a couple picks. But I doubt we're going to get any of the running backs that we want there. That we got Saquon. But, the only guys that I think I would draft at that spot would be Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. So we're probably not going to get those guys. We might have to zig and try something a little bit different here. There's going to be some really good receivers when we're up there. Even a quarterback at this point, Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes might be the way to go. And I'm kind of into taking a quarterback this high. I think that's the place to do it. But it depends if Jackson and Mahomes are available. I might wait and see if this guy's going to take one of them, and I'll just take the other here. But anyways, we're moving here. Aaron Jones disappears. Travis Kelce, first tight end at 16. Julio Jones at 17. That's a pretty good value there. So we're just kind of moving here through the second round. It's going to get a little bit more exciting as we get to the third and fourth round where the unknowns start to happen. Josh Jacobs at 18. We're getting close. Chris Godwin's falling to me a lot at this 2-3 turn. And I think if that happens, you almost have to do it. I think I got Godwin. I have him as my 12th best overall player. So I'm going to keep looking at this list and going to my projections. If you want to get access to my projections, there's going to be another link in the description below to get to my Patreon account, or just for $10. The month of July, you can get it for $10, just a one-time deal or one-time fee. But you're going to get access to my projection page, which has, the individual tabs. You can't see them, but there's quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and flex tabs on the bottom, as well as, individual team pages. So if you want to look at the 49ers, you can do that. If you just want to look at quarterbacks, you can do that. And then you'll have the ability to filter, by your scoring. That's what these little lines are for. So check it out on Patreon. And yeah, we're moving here. We see George Kittle, DeAndre Hopkins. We got a couple more picks here before we go. I think my fingers are crossed on Godwin falling to us. I don't really feel comfortable taking Fournette, Mark Ingram, Jonathan Taylor. I think we're going to try and see what happens in the 4th and 5th round as far as running back. So with this, I think we're going to be snagging a lot of PPR upside backs, pass catchings, guys like Damian Williams, guys like Tariq Cohen, Kareem Hunt. I like Ronald Jones this year. So if you've watched any of my videos, there's going to be a theme where you start to see me selecting some of the same guys over and over and over again. And that's just because when I do these videos, I'm sticking to my projection board, and I'm just taking the guys that I have projected out higher. So that's kind of how it goes. So we already got here. I'm going to highlight my boy Saquon Barkley. We got him up here at the 2nd overall. Man, if we can get Chris Godwin, I might have to take a guy like Adam Thielen. I think he would be the next highest guy on my board. But wow, Allen Robinson at 21. I'm just going to go ahead and filter here. Pat Mahomes did not go yet. So yeah, I guess I'm sitting in a spot here where what if Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes are both on the board? Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 22. Holy crap. Okay, this is the scenario. I do have my 12th best available player on the board. So we're going to take Chris Godwin here. But the thinking here is I kind of think that we might take Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes. These are the two clear guys that should be the top 2 quarterbacks. So I think I'm going to pass it to this guy and see what he does. But so let's just grab Godwin for now. I've been getting Godwin in a lot of these drafts. So if you're a fan of Chris Godwin, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I owned a lot of Godwin shares last year. So the fact that he's going after guys like Hopkins, Allen Robinson, and Clyde Edwards, a little bit surprising to me. So I think that's the best value of our picks. I mean, we've only had 2 picks. So yeah, it's a pretty good value. But anyways, I pretty much have us getting 2 first-round picks with these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and keep highlighting my guys green. I guess my next best available flex player is going to be Adam Thielen. And then probably the next best guy would be Le'Veon Bell, DJ Moore. I would probably lean towards taking a running back there. So this guy takes Leonard Fournette, man. If he's going to pass us Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes, that could be kind of fun. So we're looking at the quarterback projections that I have here. And to be honest, like I don't have Dak Prescott too far behind these guys. There's kind of another guy that enters the tier, Russell Wilson. I have all 4 of these guys projected within 17 points of each other. So maybe I'm super interested. He took Lamar Jackson, which is good. Let's just kind of look around here and see if anyone sticks out more than the others. Kenny Galladay, maybe DJ Moore. Kenny Galladay might be a good best baller. I got 40 seconds here real quick. I mean, Galladay was wide receiver 9 in a PPR league with only 8 games from Matt Stafford. Let's just look at his volatility real quick. So, I mean, a couple stinkers every now and then, but this looks like a pretty good best ball pick. I did say Adam Thielen was my best available receiver, but just to change things up, I think I'm going to go ahead and here and take Kenny Galladay. I haven't had too many shares of him this year, so I'm just going to try something a little different. I'm into Adam Thielen quite a bit, but for best ball, it's a little bit different, where I know that if Galladay has one of those 7.6 points per game, I'm going to probably get someone else in there. So that's fine. But Kenny Galladay, man, I said wide receiver 9 last year and only 8 games from Matt Stafford, averaging 15.6 fantasy points per game in a PPR, 65 catches, 1,190 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Kind of surprising. I guess maybe not because, Stafford's gone, but he had less receptions last year than he did in 2018 and less targets. But his yards per catch were shot up a little bit. Career high yards per catch, 11 touchdowns. Galladay is going to be one of those guys that could lead the league in touchdowns this year. And it's pretty remarkable just looking at some of the numbers that he did with the backup quarterback situation in Detroit. So I'm a Galladay fan. He's going to have multiple games where he gets over 20 points, multiple 2-touchdown games. So that feels pretty good there. So we got Saquon Barkley, Chris Godwin, and Kenny Galladay to start. We see Pat Mahomes go right after me. That was one of the guys that I was considering, but I feel pretty good about starting the way we did. We're going to get some value at quarterback later. But yeah, we also just need, if we can get a running back at the 4th and 5th range, I'm looking forward to that. But there's going to be a lot of receivers that we like here in the middle rounds. Calvin Ridley would have been on my list, but there's no way. Calvin Ridley in the top 30, 29th overall. That might be the highest I've seen Calvin Ridley go, which is pretty impressive. Todd Gurley went pretty high too. I don't really see him go at the top of the 3rd round anymore. But I'm just kind of looking around at best available. We're going to wait on tight end. If Zach Ertz or Mark Andrews falls to us at the 4 or 5 turn, that might be something interesting. But we had a really long wait here before we're up again. If you watch my videos, I've been more prone to wait on tight ends. Guys like Jared Cook, Tyler Higbee, and then you pair those guys with a guy like Blake Jarwin, TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, so we got a little bit of a receiver run going here. Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, and DJ Moore, Adam Thielen. So the third round is the receiver round. These are guys that you can get that have wide receiver one potential. One of these guys might even finish in the top 5 that we're looking at right here. It wouldn't surprise me if Adam Thielen led the league in targets or receptions or something. DJ Moore is going to have a really good year. He's going to have more touchdowns than he's had the past few seasons. And then Mike Evans, he's kind of a wild card. It really depends on what Tom Brady can do pushing the ball down the field. Keenan Allen, so we got 6 straight receivers here. We're moving along. We're losing all of our value at the receiver position, but they're pushing running backs to us. So we see James Conner go. He's one of my favorite third-round picks where if you started – the video that I just did, the PPR mock draft, I ended up getting James Conner, I think, in the 4th round as my RB2. So that's pretty good value there. Jonathan Taylor, that's pretty high. Melvin Gordon, that's solid value there. So with a lot of these guys, like a guy like Jonathan Taylor in a best ball league, I might be interested. That makes me more interested in grabbing a guy like Marlon Mack when he falls. Same with Melvin Gordon. I'd be interested in getting Phillip Lindsay. I'm starting to look into pairing backfields. We got Saquon Barkley on this team, so it's really not going to benefit us too much to look for Dion Lewis or anything like that. But these guys where there's going to be 50-50 splits or 60-40 splits, those are the backfields that I'm looking for. So like the guy that took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he should be all over Damian Williams when he gets the chance. Juju Smith-Schuster here at 38. We're kind of moving along here. Just the start of the 4th round. So it's Friday. We're just enjoying a double IPA for the day. So yeah, I guess I can probably start going ahead and looking at who my quarterback might be. I like Russell Wilson the most here. Dak Prescott's pretty low ADP-wise, so we're probably going to wait and see what happens. Zach Ertz off the board. As far as running backs, I'm into Le'Veon. If Le'Veon Bell somehow makes it to 47, I think I'm going to run that pick in. Chris Carson, 40th overall. And then, I kind of highlighted Le'Veon Bell in my previous video, but if you did not watch that yet, you're going to see that Le'Veon Bell finished as the RB16 in PPR leagues, averaged 14.3 points per game. And I know it's the Jets. The Jets were a mess last year. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, missed a few games with the mono. Offensive line was garbage. Adam Gase, everything was a disaster. But they addressed a lot of things this summer and this offseason that I really like. The offensive line is going to be improved. So you see Le'Veon Bell here at 3.2 yards per carry. That's a career low. So I feel really confident in that number coming up. I see his touchdowns coming up, only 3 rushing touchdowns last year. That's, maybe it's 4 or 5, but even then, that's coming up. And then his receiving floor is pretty nice. If we go ahead and look at his per game basis, only 2 games below double-digit points. And, of course, one of them was the bad game against the New England Patriots. Weird game here against Jacksonville. But every other game, he gives us a 10 to 12 to 13-point floor. He started this season off with a lot of receptions. But, yeah, year 2 of Darnold, I'm interested to see how that works. We did miss on Le'Veon Bell. We missed on Odell Beckham, A.J. Brown, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson. We're almost up to pick here. No running backs are calling my name here at this point of the draft. We might just run this a little bit here. Receivers that catch my eye, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp. Did Bob Woods go? Robert Woods, Terry McLaurin. Okay, so we missed on Mark Andrews and Tyler Lockett. I'm going to quick skim my projection model to see who floats to the top. I think it's going to be Robert Woods. Robert Woods here at pick 23 overall. I guess he's my 23rd best flex. I'm going to go ahead and slam dunk that pick in. And then I'm just kind of looking forward ahead here. I think McLaurin would be my next best ball pick. So we're going with Barkley, Godwin, Galladay, and now we get Robert Woods to be part of the team. You see Robert Woods finished the season really strong last year. 4 out of 5 games, over 20 points. He hit a 30-point there. One of my favorite receivers, Brandon Cooks, is gone. If we looked individually at my wide receiver rankings, you're going to see Bob Woods up here at wide receiver 10. So I think he's got a really nice floor to build on from last year. He's going to catch more touchdowns. He's going to be heavily used in the passing game. So the guy in between me took Cooper Kupp and DJ Chark. That's fine. If I'm filtering here by all positions, it's going to tell me Mark Ingram, DeAndre Swift, best available. I'm really into Damian Williams. He might be the guy to take here, but a guy like DK Metcalf. But it's telling me here that my best available receiver is Terry McLaurin. We filter by flex quick. What do we got? We got 30 seconds. I think I got to stick to my board. It's telling me McLaurin is my 35th best player. Michael Gallup would be my next. I'm into DK Metcalf, but I got him down at 44. And I guess the major difference would be McLaurin is the de facto wide receiver 1 on the team. DK Metcalf's got to compete with Tyler Lockett. There's not going to be as much volume. So I'm going to go ahead here and snag Terry McLaurin. We got, so basically, because you start 3 wide receivers in this league. Here you go. You see 3 wide receivers, and we just filled our flex spot with Terry McLaurin. So I like that. Let's take a look at Terry McLaurin's rookie season real quick. And I know everything that's going on with the Washington football team is it's really not good right now. But hopefully once football gets started, they can kind of put that behind them and turn the new page here. But Terry McLaurin, wide receiver 29 last year, playing with half a season of Dwayne Haskins and the other half of Case Keenum. He almost hit 1,000 yards. He had 919 yards, 58 catches, 15.8 per catch, 7 touchdowns, 13.7 fantasy points per game. And then let's just take a look here. His lows were low, but he almost hit a couple double digits here. But let's count his over double digit games with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of his 14 games were over double digits. And then again, he had an 8.1, 7.9, 7.9, and 9.9. So those are 4 games where maybe he would have scored for us as his flex. That's not terrible. But what I like about looking at this box score is he started the season really strong. He kind of hits his rookie wall, maybe some nagging injuries, maybe not a very smooth transition from Keenum to Dwayne Haskins. But we see starting in week 14 against Green Bay, that touchdown against Green Bay too, where he does like the one-handed, like he goes up and gets it. That's a pretty great catch. But he ended the season really strong here with over 100 yards against Philly. New York Giants, he balled out. The NFC East, man, those defenses don't scare me. So I'm a big fan of Terry McLaurin. We do see DK Metcalf go right after me at 51. Let me get caught up here on my highlighted players. So we're 4 picks in right now. So I'm kind of just not including quarterbacks on this board at all, which is fine. So we're just looking, at the flex positions. But as of 4 rounds right now, we currently have the number 2 player on my board, number 12, number 23, and number 35. So that's essentially meaning we got 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. Again, our flex position's filled. Our starting receivers are loaded. And then the receiver position is probably the most important one, I think, in a best ball because we start the most positions there. So we got 3 guys that, if you looked at my wide receiver stats here, look at this. We got the number 10, the number 11, and the number 5. And then Terry McLaurin's down here at number 19. So I'm pretty happy with this. Pretty good start here. We're going to win that $10,000 with this one maybe. So that's kind of fun. But we should probably start queuing up running backs to snag here. So I guess what's cool is with drafters.com, you can filter it here. We can look at the actual table here of everything. I don't know if I like this view as much. I'll just leave it up there so you guys can see the picks and the teams. I'm going to move that there. And can I filter that up a little bit? Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. That'll work. So I got my roster grid over here. I'm going to go ahead and let's just look at quarterbacks real quick. Only 2 quarterbacks. I guess Kyler Murray just went. Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott still on the board. Those are 2, to me, they're like basically locks for top 5 quarterback finishes this year. So if any of those guys somehow fall to me at 71, 74, I might be interested, but I'm totally okay with running this till empty on the quarterback. Say we get a guy like Matt Ryan and Matt Stafford. Give me the Matts, and we'll go from there. But I'm still liking a lot of the running backs available here. So I'm gonna start to kind of just edit my rankings. You can do that here by the Q button and drag and drop. So we moved Damian Williams up. Kareem Hunt got moved up. Ronald Jones, we're going to move him up. If we can get 2 of these guys, I'm going to feel really happy. Feel really, really good about that. Tariq Cohen, I'm going to move Cohen up. I'm basically just making my favorite list of running backs and guys that I'm okay with falling to me if they get there, but I'm not going to move them up kind of deal. And then we can wait to reorganize this. But I got my list here of Tariq Cohen up one more. Can I find one more running back? I mean, Raheem Mostert might be okay. No, I'm going to stick with those 4 running backs. Damian Williams, if you watched my other video, I was really excited about Damian Williams as a value play. Especially, I mean, if you want to draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire as early in the second round, I think, especially in a best ball league, I think it's worth your time to look at Damian Williams as, more than a handcuff. Because he's not going away, guys. He helped them win the Super Bowl last year. Andy Reid's not going to forget this. If we look at his numbers, so he got hurt. Looks like week 11, comes back. And I've shared these stats in the past videos, but he went on a tear, just like he did in 2018. And people were drafting him in the second round as early as the 2019 season. So, this is a good running back. He's not going away. He knows passing situations. He's probably going to be the preferred red zone back over Clyde Edwards. And then just rookie backs in general. There's a couple rookie backs that I do like to take. But as early as the second round, even Jonathan Taylor in the third, give me the receivers, give me James Conner, guys like that. So I'm really into Damian Williams. Again, he's going to be hard to trust every week, which is why he's like the perfect best ball selection. So, if we look at what he did here, I'm going to ignore like his, the playoff games, but we'll count them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 games over double digits, and all of those games were over 15 points. So when he hit, he hit. So 8 of, 14 games, he was over 15 points. That's pretty dang good. So we missed on Kareem Hunt, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and read a recap here. After we picked McLaurin, we saw Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, David Montgomery, Mark Ingram, Stephon Diggs, Devin Singletary, Marquise Brown, Kyler Murray, T.Y. Hilton, Russell Wilson. I'm really not a fan of Montgomery, Ingram, Diggs, Singletary. None of those excite me. I do think the Marquise Brown pick is really good here. I like this guy double dipping. This guy, wow, he just locked in, really high quarterback points here, taking Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott. I like that move a lot. We do see I missed out on Damian Williams. I missed out on Kareem Hunt, Julian Edelman, Devontae Parker. So it looks like we're going to be teeing off here on Ronald Jones and Tariq Cohen in a sec. Unless a receiver falls to us, I'm all for adding depth and making strengths stronger. I'm not really when I make my rosters, I don't really care how I get there. I know there's no free agency, there's no trades, there's no roster management in this league, in a best ball league, but I think I'm going to be able to find some running backs that are going to trade off. Maybe they're the second backs in their system, but if we collect 4 or 5 guys that are going to, maybe they get 4 to 5 touchdowns on the season, I think I'm okay with that. We got Saquon Barkley to lead it off, so we're in good shape there. We only really need one more running back, so we could plug that one running back spot with 4 dudes and see what happens. So Cam Akers, I probably should have moved him up on my list. AJ Green, DeAndre Swift, Darren Waller, we're on deck right now. Go ahead and filter by all. Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd. I like Tyler Boyd, man. I've been listening to a lot of Evan Silva's stuff lately. J.K. Dobbins goes here. Marvin Jones. This guy's he's got McCaffrey and Fournette. He might take a running back here. He could use a receiver. I'm going to take. No, I got to stick to my board. Which would be, Michael Gallup's still available here. Tyler Boyd at wide receiver 24. All right, we're going to go ahead here and take Tyler Boyd. I've been taking a lot of Michael Gallup lately, and I think Why can't I take Tyler Boyd? All right, we're going to take Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones finished the year strong. He's going to be, maybe he's inconsistent, but he's going to be able to score, 8 to 10 weeks for us at the spot. I think the Keyshawn Vaughn hype was a little bit overblown. Ronald Jones is entering his third year. He is younger than Keyshawn Vaughn, but trust goes a long way. I know people think, Ronald Jones is in Bruce Arians' doghouse, and maybe he is. Maybe he's, overgrown that by now. But Ronald Jones is a good player. He averaged like 4.2 yards per catch per carry last year. He averaged 10 yards per catch. That was the number. So he's a very dynamic receiver. I just think that with Tom Brady, man, they're going to run the ball in the red zone really well. They're going to get, their running backs their touches. So I'm into that. We got our 2 starting running backs. We got our flex positions filled out. I would really like Tariq Cohen here, but I don't know if that makes sense. If I look at my flex here. Okay. I got Tyler Boyd here. Tyler Boyd, Marvin Jones is up here. I don't see Tariq Cohen down here yet. So we're going to go ahead here and take Tyler Boyd. I haven't been able to draft him at all yet. He's the starting slot receiver for a bad Bengals team with Joe Burrow. Tyler Boyd last year, if we look at what he did in PPR, he was wide receiver 17. So that's, only 14.2 points per game, it looks like, but he did play all 16 games. He's been relatively healthy throughout his career so far. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, 90 receptions last year, 76 the year before. I know a lot of this is without A.J. Green, but are we even guaranteed to get, a full season out of A.J. Green anymore? We don't know. So I think the 5 touchdowns is a number that he can grow on. Maybe he gets us some yardage points in the rushing department. But I like these numbers from Tyler Boyd. He's only going to get, a handful of splash games, but when he hits, he's going to hit. He's got a couple slop games here with 9 catches. We're looking at the targets here of 12, 10, 11, 14, 14, 10, 15. With Joe Burrow, these might be some really nice big games. So I'm interested in Tyler Boyd, and I think it's about time I finally got him. So we'll shed him up. I'm going to probably put him in the video still at the beginning. So we'll do that in a sec. Just want to say thank you for hanging out with me, doing this best ball draft. We're cruising along here in the 7th round. If you haven't checked out theFellowship.com, that's where I have a lot of my rankings. You can find access to some of my articles that I do. I got my podcasting stuff here where you can click on those. Patreon, that's where you go to get the 2020 projections document. I got my individual team pages. You just click on your team, and it's going to tell you, once it loads, it will tell you. I got my own, it shows my video preview, but it's going to give you their depth chart as of now, with the bold guys being their fantasy guys that we'll have to think about, the backups here in the less, gray color. But it'll give you their full draft class. It'll give you their offseason additions, any notable free agents. And then I got a bunch of links. So go ahead and check the team pages, and then go ahead and check out under the 2020 content tab. That's where you're going to find the articles, the rankings, all the study shares that I've been doing lately, just a bunch of content on there. So go ahead and check out thefantasyfellowship.com. And then I want to say, if you don't follow me on Twitter, please do, at theFellowKGB. I've seen this ever since I started making a lot of videos at the beginning of June. I've seen my follower count go up quite a bit. I think I passed over 1,000 views on YouTube last week, so that's pretty exciting. So thank you for that. But go ahead and follow theFellowKGB. I post a lot of stuff. I like to share a lot of good people's good work, and then I kind of just let you guys know what I'm doing. So check out the Twitter page. We're going to recap what we got going on here. We're almost at the end of the 7th round, but it started with Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd, Jarvis Landry, Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller, Marvin Jones Jr., Darius Geis, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson. That's another guy that I want to get more shares of. But I think what I'm going to do here is, I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. The draft kind of going slow. So I've been putting out a lot of a lot of mock drafts this week. I think I'm going to try to do one or two of those per week going forward. But I think I'm really interested in starting to put out individual position videos. Like I'm just going to, review my quarterback projections, tell you guys people that I'm into, avoid these guys, take these guys at value. So there's going to be some of those positional videos coming. There's probably going to be a sleeper video coming, guys to avoid videos like that. If you have any other ideas or topics you guys want me to discuss, let me know in the comments, and I can devise some kind of idea to get you guys what you need. But yeah, I don't know. I'm super grateful for the comments and the likes and the subscriptions lately. So I would love to chat with some of you guys. I think that's that's awesome. So thank you. We're entering the 8th round here. CD Lamb finishes off the 7th. I really hope the NFL gets some kind of deal done to get these guys in camp. I know some of the people were supposed to. I think the Chiefs and another team were supposed to report rookies and some veterans tomorrow, Saturday, but they pushed that back to Monday just to buy some time to negotiate. But they're basically trying to figure out, the money situation and how they can safely get camp started. So they have a few things to wrinkle out yet, but I'm optimistic that by pushing, they deleted some of the preseason games, so that buys us a little bit of time to get these guys into camp safely. But I'm optimistic the NFL is going to get something done. And I mean, we got baseball back, golf's already back. Basketball is, right there too. It's fun to see those guys start to arrive in Orlando and seeing some of like Matisse Tybel's vlog video. There's a couple other things that are, starting to bubble up there. So, but yeah, man, I'm optimistic on the NFL. We just got to keep wearing your masks, stay safe, all that good stuff. So I feel like I'm just ranting right now. This is a long video. So if you're still here with me, cool. Thank you. Tom Brady in the 8th round. So we kind of missed our quarterback window. I was really hoping to get Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott to fall, but at that point, that's kind of begging. So we're fine. I think I'm going to start kind of queuing up guys that I like at quarterback. Start moving some of the guys up here. A guy like Matt Stafford, of the guys ranked right now, or I guess still available, Matt Stafford's probably my highest rated guy. So I'm into Stafford. I like Rodgers, Breeze, Wentz. We'll move Ryan Tannehill up a tad. We could wait for Gardner Minshew to be a quarterback too. It really depends on who we get. I'm more interested in loading up, on running backs and receivers. That's the bulk of the team. We can get away with 2 quarterbacks, but we'll probably end up taking 3. It really depends on what my quarterback is. Like if I got Russell Wilson, that dude started every game of his career, I'd be fine with just taking 2 quarterbacks. But in best ball, it's cool because it has to, it trains you to, think down the road, long-term, scenarios. If he gets hurt, okay, I got Daniel Jones. If my first 3 running backs all get hurt for a week or something, I know I got this. So that's kind of how it's, helps you think and plan long-term. So best balls are my favorite. I love best balls. We see Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, Tyler Higbee go. So we don't have a tight end, we don't have a quarterback, but we're getting pretty stacked here with what we're looking at. Saquon Barkley, I'll recap here. Saquon Barkley to start, Ronald Jones. We got 5 stud receivers: Chris Godwin, Kenny Galladay, Robert Woods, Terry McLaurin, Tyler Boyd. I should probably stay away from wide receivers right now, but I tend to do things differently. Like when I see what the market's doing, I tend to just keep taking value. Sometimes I know I needed a running back here, but the fact that we can get Tariq Cohen here at the 8th round, I think that's going to make me feel really good here. Let's take a look at what Tariq Cohen did in 2019. He did regress a little bit from his outstanding 2018 breakout, but he still finished, man. He still finished as RB27. He averaged 10.2 fantasy points per game. We see they didn't use him as much as a runner, which is just kind of dumb. Only 64 attempts, 213 yards, down from 99 attempts and 445 yards. No rushing touchdowns, but he did, have a career high in receiving receptions and targets, but his yards per catch plummeted. So I've read articles of like Tariq Cohen admitting that he didn't really take good care of himself last year. The Bears offense seemed to be a little bit more complex and overcomplicated at times. So it sounds like the Bears are going to dial things back. We just missed Mecole Hardman. That would have been nice on the turn, but we don't need receivers. We're okay. So we're going to go ahead here and lock in Tariq Cohen, and then I don't know if there's any other running back that sticks out. We'll have to kind of browse the field here, but we're going to take Tariq Cohen, and Tariq Cohen's like the perfect best ball running back because you don't know what week he's going to do his things, but there's going to be things made. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So half of his games last year he was over double digits. Tariq Cohen hasn't missed a game in his career, so I love the consistency there. And then he's only a year removed from having a really, really good season where I think he was like RB, wasn't he a top 10 RB, maybe like RB 11 or something a year ago? So if Ronald Jones can't get it done that week, we'll see if Tariq Cohen can get it done. I'm fine with this running back trio. We see Keyshawn Vaughn go. That guy's probably like, the Ronald Jones guy didn't take Keyshawn Vaughn. We don't need no sticking Keyshawn Vaughn. So we'll see what he does here. I think I'm going to keep waiting on quarterback. Let's take a look at running backs. Kerryon Johnson, Devonta Freeman, Darrell Henderson. We see Hunter Henry go. These running backs, I mean, Duke Johnson's an interesting guy, but I just don't see anyone here that I have to have. Like, we can wait maybe for Zach Moss and some of the later rookies. Receiver, I gotta be honest. I gotta look here. Emmanuel Sanders could be fun. Tight end, Austin Hooper, Hayden Hurst, Jared Cook. Quarterbacks, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough. We got 25 seconds to make a decision. I mean, we could take a receiver here and just be done with receiver. But no, I like Hunter Renfrow too much. I mean, round 9 at this point, I think it's stupid that why are people sleeping on Jared Cook? Why? This is one of the weirdest things that I've seen all season. Jared Cook was super efficient last year. You see here, I have him projected as my tight end number 7, going for 52 catches, 715 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I think he had like one of them. I'd have to look and dig deeper in the stats, but it seemed like when he got back after his little injury, he was like a top 5 tight end the rest of the season. So let's go ahead and here and look at tight ends. So whenever I go to this, it's called FF Today. That's the website that I use to look at last season's total stats here. They do a good job of breaking this down. But we see Jared Cook in 14 games last season. He was tight end number 7, 65 targets, 43 receptions, 705 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Let's look at some of his game logs. So it was almost a career season for him. I guess it was probably his second best season of his career, but really, basically the tied for his best season with Las Vegas not too long ago. But we see some really good consistency. Once, he did miss a few games in the middle of the season, but it took him a little bit of time to get going with the Saints. But when he did, every game from week 5 on was basically double digits. A 9.4, I'm going to count that as double digits. If you get 9 points out of your tight end, that's fine, whatever. It's a bad week, but you're going to take that. But if you look at the 20-point games, you got 1 here, 2, 3, and then the rest of the games, man, he's just super steady. So you think about how would you defend the New Orleans Saints offense? You got Michael Thomas, you got Alvin Kamara, Drew Brees. He gets out of things so easily. Latavius Murray, Ty Montgomery is going to be there. And now you add Emmanuel Sanders, Traquan Smith going deep. There's a lot of, tough matchups there. So teams can't really double a guy like Jared Cook. So he gets a lot of plus matchups. So he's been one of my favorite tight ends to target. And at the moment, we're feeling pretty good here. Saquon Barkley, Ronald Jones, Tariq Cohen. We need some more RB targets, but I think that's enough, to keep us relevant here. Ronald Jones and Tariq Cohen are going to trade off as RB2, hopefully, for the season. So we really only need about 2 guys more to step up here. But this is our receiver group. I think a lot of teams' receiver groups are going to be good, but they don't have what we got. We got some ballers here. We got Chris Godwin, top 5 receiver. Kenny Golladay, he might be a top 5 receiver. I'm going to call him a top 10 receiver. I'm going to call Robert Woods a top 10 receiver. And I'm going to say Terry McLaurin's got top 15 upside. And same with Tyler Boyd. I think if anything happens to, A.J. Green's such an uncertainty. if anything happens to AJ Green, Tyler Boyd's going to continue to get massive amount of targets, and I just think Joe Burrow targets are going to mean a lot more than the Andy Dalton and the Ryan Finley targets he saw last year. So, and Tyler Boyd's our wide receiver 5. He might not even make our lineup some weeks, which is pretty cool. Cool and crazy at the same time, I guess. So, I mean, if you watch any of my videos, you know who our backup tight end is going to be. And when we get there, we'll get excited about it. But let me just recap what's going on here. Jamison Crowder after we took Cook, John Brown, Hayden Hurst, Carson Wentz, Darius Slaytown, Kerryon Johnson, Matt Breida, Sterling Starling. But yeah, man, we don't need a quarterback. Like, we're still sitting here. I'm going to show you guys my quarterback rankings. But Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, what the hell is going on around here? Let's filter my rankings real quick. Move my ugly face over here. So filter. Matt Stafford is my quarterback 7. Jolly Rogers is my quarterback 11. And I got the Breezes as my quarterback 12. So I still got 3 quarterback 1s available, guys. It's pretty, I mean, I wait till it's empty. I'm going to go ahead here, and I guess I haven't been updating my positions here in green, so we're interested in this. So yeah, we ended up with 5 guys in the top 50. Who else we got here? We got Ron John, and we got Tariq the Freak. Yo, check out this name under Tariq the Freak. Hunter Henry. He made some moves in my rankings this weekend. So we're going to be snagging. Oh, someone took Blake Jarwin. What the hell? They don't have a permit for that. All right. Blake Jarwin was going to be our tight end too. We got sniped. I've never been sniped on Blake Jarwin. This is mutiny. What the F? All right, that's fine. We'll find another guy. Let's just quick glance at my tight end rankings real quick. I mean, I think Dallas Goedert's still available. Wait, is Rob Gronkowski still available? No way. Rob Gronkowski's still available. He gets slept on under the rug here. I think his ADP is low because they were doing these drafts before he announced his retirement, so it's taken his ADP a while to get caught up. So we're gonna snag Rob Gronkowski here if we can. That would be kind of cool. And then we got Cook and Gronk. Oh, that sounds pretty good here. Nice. So we see Drew Brees come off the board. Debo Samuel, Alexander Madison. I'm curious. I wonder if this guy's got Dalvin Cook. No, he's got Kenyon Drake. So that guy probably should have taken him. But anyways, we're cruising here in the 10th round. We're only halfway through. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm just going to let it run, and we're going to get some YouTube minutes. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's Friday evening. I got some things going on, so I'm just trying to, I don't know, we'll get through this, and we'll just keep making good picks here. We get Rob Gronkowski. I'm a happy camper. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of talk about some of my favorite receivers left available. I'm taking Emmanuel Sanders when I can. Preston Williams is a good one. I'm interested. Hunter Renfrow, man. He is probably my darling receiver right now. No one's really talking about. I got Hunter Henry chilling at the wide receiver 37 spot right now. I have him catching 63 passes, 775 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I think that's leading the Raiders in touchdowns. Let's see, we're almost up to pick here, but if we look quick at the 2019 stats, here's Hunter Renfrow highlighted. He had 49 catches, 605 yards, 4 touchdowns. Of course, Darren Waller was the big slob there. He was the wide receiver 1. Tyrell Williams was in and out of the lineup. But if I show you what our boy Hunter Renfrow did, I'm just going to Google Hunter Renfrow FF today. That'll just give you the link right away. And then we'll filter by PPR. But, I mean, down the stretch, Hunter Renfrow was balling. It took him a little bit of time to get acclimated to the offense. But from week 8 on, 18.8, 17.4, 8.2, 11.6, 6.1, and then here we go, 23.7 and 22.2 to finish the year. Back-to-back 9 target games. back-to-back double, 100-yard receiving games, and then back-to-back touchdowns. So Hunter Renfrow, if I know Darren Waller's probably going to be the leading target there, but as far as the other receivers, all the receivers they brought in, they're not going to compete with Hunter Henry. Jerry Jeudy, outside receiver. Tyrell Williams, outside receiver. Brian Edwards, outside receiver. These guys are all different roles. Hunter Renfrow is going to keep what he does well at. So I'm super into that. I can't believe these mofos let us get Rob Gronkowski here to be our tight end too. Everyone's going to be like, no. That happened to me. This is why I waited to record this, because I did one of these mocks the other night, and I noticed, holy crap, Gronkowski kind of falls through the cracks. So I guess some advice when you do these is, do your due diligence. Look down the row a little bit. Sometimes these guys fall through the cracks. So we probably could grab. We're going to tee up Matt Stafford or Aaron Rodgers here, whatever one this guy doesn't want to pick. He's got Lamar Jackson, so he might not take a quarterback here, but we're going to stick to our board here. And then another thing too, when you're drafting best ball leagues, sometimes it helps to stack quarterbacks in a receiver, quarterback, and a tight end. Anything to get you those big boom weeks. That's how you're going to get this $10,000. So we're just waiting here. Dallas Goedert, this guy, taking my tight ends. I'm a big Goddard fan, but I would say my 4 favorite targets at the moment right now would be Jared Cook, Blake Jarwin, Gronk, and then probably, I don't know, Tyler Higbee sometimes falls to me in the 8th, 9th round. There was one draft where Darren Waller fell to the 9th round, and I was just like, oh, okay, we'll have to do it. So that was fun. But yeah, man, we're going to get, this guy just commented, this is the slowest draft ever. So we're going to run Matt Stafford in. This is a pretty stupid pick not to make. I don't know why it's not letting me pick Matt Stafford, but we'll hit pick here. Let's take a look at what Matt Stafford did last year in his 8 games that he did play. He was on pace for one of the best seasons of his career. He came out firing. So in 8 games, Matt Stafford, he actually, if you look here at his fantasy points per game, here, let me zoom. So 25.9 points per game, only one season where he had more, which was 26.5 points. Back in 2011 with Megatron, that was the 5,000-yard season, 41 touchdowns. So in 8 games last year, we see Stafford throw for about 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 5 ints. That's outstanding. That's on pace for 38, touchdowns and 5,000 yards, which is basically his 2011 stat line. So Stafford was playing the best football of his twilight, end of his career. And then you look at some of these numbers here, a 33.5. Here, I got a filter here. I just filter by ESPN because I know it's the 4-point passing, -2 interception. So we see these boom games of 27.6, 23.4, 28.6, 23.4, and 24.8. So I know it's dumb to look at last year's stats and just say, he did this, so he should be able to do this. It's not always how it goes, but with quarterbacks, they're a little bit more consistent year to year. And I'm just look at some of these touchdown games. He had 5 games with 3 or more touchdowns. Matt Stafford, man, and we paired him up with Kenny Golladay. So what if Kenny catches 13, 14 touchdowns this year? We have a really good chance at winning this league. So I know we've kind of neglected running backs here. We missed one of my favorite rookies in Zach Moss. I wanted to kind of just talk about rookie running backs a bit because some of the rookie running backs, I'm nervous about rookies. I'm not really interested in taking a rookie running back in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. That just doesn't excite me. I'm okay with taking a guy like Zach Moss, 11th, the double-digit rounds. I'm okay with, especially in a best ball league, Zach Moss, that's like what he's made for. He's probably going to rush for 5 or 6 touchdowns, and I think he might be better than Devin Singletary. I don't know yet, but I think he's going to give Singletary a run for his money. So a guy like Zach Moss, Cam Akers is probably the first rookie running back that I'm going to consider. And then if we look at where Akers went, round 6, if Akers would have fallen to me at the 71, I would have taken Akers. That would have been an easy pick for me. I'm trying to think of the next rookie running back that would fall into our lap. There's kind of a gap after Akers. Maybe J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins was here. I'm into Dobbins, but again, at the 6th round, I'm not taking him over Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup. Like, I'm probably hitting, these guys that are in this tier here. Marvin Jones, I'd take over him. It's just there's so much uncertainty with going on with the rookies that I don't like spending some of my highest draft capital picks on these guys. Some of the rookies that I am interested in, though, I mentioned Zach Moss. I do like A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones is not going to score as many touchdowns as he did last year. He's in a contract year. They might try to keep him healthy. And A.J. Dillon, man, he blew the competition away in the ACC the last 3 years. No one faced more 8-man boxes in the NCAA last year, and this dude ran for over 5 yards per carry. So that's super impressive, and I just think that he's got a really good chance at getting 5 or 6 touchdowns, and maybe those 5 of those weeks he ends up starting as an RB2. I think that's something that could be a possibility. But as far as running backs that excite me at this point of the game, I was looking for Boston Scott, but Boston Scott got snagged. So we're hurting here on running backs, hurting a little bit here on running backs. We got Ronald Jones and Tariq Cohen and Saquon Barkley. We really can't get access to any of the backups. So we are in a pinch at the running back situation. No one's really sticking out. Antonio Gibson could be fun. He could be a guy that pops off for a few random games. A.J. Dillon's probably going to be on my list. So we'll move Gibson up. That's another rookie that I'm into. Damian Harris, man, I don't know if I like Sony Michel this year. Josh Kelly is another rookie to keep an eye on. Any other rookies sticking out? Yeah, I don't know. We're going to really be banking on Barkley, Tariq Cohen, and Ronald Jones. But I don't know. The few conversations I've had with people about Ronald Jones is they bring up that he's in his doghouse. He can't pass block. What do you think he's working on all summer? You don't think he's heard this same stuff said about him? He made a huge leap from his rookie year to his second year, and I don't think that's just going to flatline. You see him catching balls and working with the starters and all that stuff. So I think there's going to be another step forward in his game. So I think Ronald Jones, man, he might be my favorite running back target as of right now that no one's really thinking of. With Tom Brady, man, he's got the potential to get double-digit touchdowns. So who knows what happens, but. Anyways, we got to kind of look at the field here. Tight ends are kind of picked over. Running backs are picked over. Receivers, our boy Hunter Renfrow's hanging tight. Quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, Ryan Tannehill, Teddy B, Ben Roethlisberger. We got Stafford. I think I'm okay with waiting here. As far as rookie running backs, I don't really know how to gauge this. I don't really take these guys very high. We're okay on tight end. Those guys don't have the same bye weeks, do they? Oh, man, I'm in a pinch. I really don't know what I want to do here. With 21 seconds left, I think I'm just going to go ahead here and snag A.J. Dillon, just because I said he's got the potential to score 5 to 6 touchdowns this year. Maybe it's 4, but there's a good chance that if he does score 4 touchdowns, he's also adding 40 yards on the ground, getting us 10 points. So at that point in the game, I think it's interesting. If he scores 4 to 5 weeks for us, that's worth it. He's also the main handcuff for Aaron Jones. If anything happens to Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon's going to get the bulk of the carries, not Jamal Williams. Williams is going to, remain that pass-catching kind of guy. But after that, I really don't know how Jamal Williams is going to be used in the offense. Because I think they're going to use A.J. Dillon more than people expect. So So I'm just kind of reading here about Antonio Gibson. He's a really interesting guy because he was stuck on the Memphis backfield behind the guys like Darrell Henderson and Tony Pollard. So they made him switch to receiver. And Chris Thompson's gone. I know Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson are there. Not exactly pass catchers. Geis is never healthy. I think I'm going to go ahead here and take Antonio Gibson. This is just a wild speculation pick. Let me just double check here on my receivers. I really don't want to miss out on Hunter Henry. He's the 161st available. We'd be picking at 167. There's no way we get Gibson back. So I think I'm okay with gambling on Hunter Renfrow. So we'll see what happens here. But Antonio Gibson, man, he is just one of these guys that I'm super excited about because he's got this unknown ceiling. He was underused in college, and I'm trying to remember where Washington selected him. Internet's a little slow. Doesn't tell me where. Here, let's click on his Wikipedia. Why is Hunter Renfrow popping up? All right, come on, internet. We met Hunter Renfrow goes right after me, so I probably messed that up. But anyways, our running back room is going to be fine. I think this rookie running back, he's a rookie running back / receiver for the Redskins. He was drafted in the 3rd round, pick 66. I remember seeing a study where running backs drafted in the 3rd round, or 2nd or 1st, those are the running backs that have the highest success rate. So the fact that they used the 66th pick on this guy, that's what, the 3rd pick of the 3rd round. That's a pretty premium pick there. So he's going to be, maybe catching 30, 40 balls this year. He's going to be used all over the field, different formations. So he's an exciting guy. And I think, at this point now, Damien Harris left here. I think I'm comfortable with where we are at our receivers and our running back room. Basically, everything's kind of settled in here now where we're crawling here. We're in the 13th round. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks left to make. Help us. This is going slow. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pause real quick and we'll catch back up when we pick in the 14th round. All right, so let's recap here. I'm going to admit that I screwed up. You should always just stick to your ranking, stick to your board. I do like Antonio Gibson a lot, but I know Hunter Renfrow is going to have a good season. And I know I have 5 really good receivers, but in a best ball league, you could always have more. So I wish I kept Hunter Renfrow true in my rankings. So I'm a little upset about that. But after Gibson, it goes Hunter Renfrow, Alan Lazard, Joey Burrows, Damian Harris, Darrell Henderson, Jared Goff, Brandon Ayuk, Anthony McFarland, and Antonio Brown, Kirk Cousins, TJ Hawkinson, Roethlisberger, Jamal Williams, Alshon Jeffrey, Jackie Doyle, Teddy Bridgewater, Justin Jackson, Darrington Evans, and Michael Pittman. So I'm looking here at the quarterbacks. These guys have all been kind of picked over. I'm going to probably stick to my board here and take who I think has the best upside of the quarterbacks in this range, and that's going to be Gardner Minshew Mustache. I'll show you guys where he ended up in my rankings. But as a quarterback too, you can't really miss this. You can't really mess up the value. So I have him as my 20th overall quarterback. We might end up taking 2 quarterbacks here, or maybe I wait and run it empty to just get Dwayne Haskins or someone like just a guy that's going to start all the games. So this guy's probably Ian Thomas. So tight ends, it might be a good idea for us to snag one more tight end, a guy like Eric Ebron, Greg Olsen. Let's look at the receivers real quick. Cole Beasley. I like Randall Cobb in Houston. Cobb might be the guy. Oh, we're going to take Steven Sims Jr. We'll let him kind of come back on the turn. We got 30 seconds here to dissect. Maybe we take one more running back. Is there any running back we're taking here? Josh Kelly, he could get the goal line work in the Chargers game, but I don't really know how many goal line opportunities they're going to get. So we're just going to go ahead here and take the Gardner Minshew, locking in our quarterback 2 behind Matthew Stafford. I just want to double check our guys' buys here. So tight ends, we got Jared Cook and Gronk, 6 and 13. That's fine. Matt Stafford and Minshew, 5 and 7. So we're good there. My next pick is going to be Steven Sims Jr. here. I'm going to be pairing him with Terry McLaurin. So I'm getting the top 2 receivers in the Washington Redskins offense. I know it's not a good offense, but I'll show you guys the Steven Sims stats in a sec here. I guess we can look at him real quick now here. At the end of last year, he was Dwayne Haskins' favorite target. Super shifty little slot receiver. 5 receptions, 6 receptions, 5 receptions, 4, 3. He ended up with 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. three straight, pretty nice games here for starting potential. So Steven Sims is he's gonna continue to be one of these guys that I snag in these portions of the rounds. I guess let's take a look at where Steven Sims ranks in my receiver. I got him at wide receiver 44. I did want to continue to kind of highlight some of the guys here that I got. I screwed up, guys. We should have had Hunter Renfrow on this team. So my bad on that. Sometimes you got to learn lessons the hard way. Stick to your board. We should have known he wasn't going to make it back to us. So I'm just going to continue to keep filling out our picks here, and then we'll see how many guys we have in the top, like 100 or so. Did I miss anybody here? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dudes in the top 100. That's pretty solid. I'm trying to think, is there anybody that I'm missing? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Randall Cobb might be one of the guys that I look forward to taking here. At this point, like, there's really no, you can't really think about it too much. You just got to get good players. I should have gotten Hunter Renfrow. But hey, now you know, we both know Hunter Renfrow is worth the pick, especially around 13. I should have just did it. But Antonio Gibson, man, if I looked at the Redskins stats while I paused the video real quick. I mean, I don't have him projected for much because I try to be optimistic in my projections. I did give Darius Geis like 13, 14 games here, it looks like. So he's going to take away some of the numbers for Gibson. But if anything happens to Geis or Peterson, Antonio Gibson's going to get some run. So I got him projected for 30 catches, 205 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground. So he's got 3 touchdowns. And I like to view touchdowns as a stat in best ball that I can rely on, because I know that if a player scores a touchdown that week, that's an automatic 6 points. And they only need maybe like, a couple catches and maybe 30, 40, 50 yards to score over double digits. So I think Gibson can be a guy that, cracks my lineup maybe 3 or 4 times if Ronald Jones or Tariq Cohen fail to hit double digits that week. So I'm fine with him being in the backfield. That's not terrible, but Hunter Renfrow. So let's recap here. D.D. Westbrook, Randall Cobb, Paris Campbell, Josh Kelly would have been a good pick. James Washington, I like James Washington when it gets to these part of the rounds. He did lead the team in receiving yards last year. Corey Davis, Jimmy Garoppolo, David Njoku, Larry Fitzgerald, old Greg Olson. Let's line up quarterbacks here. I mean, Sam Darnold, Drew Lock, Phillip Rivers, Derek Carr, Dwayne Haskins. That might be a spot for us to – this guy's got 4 tight ends. Holy crap. Let's look at the tight ends. I mean, Eric Ebron, Jay Sternberger could be fun. I like Gerald Everett. I think he could be a guy that people are surprised on. And if you need, especially in a best ball league, if you want to take a guy like Tyler Higbee, you have more of an incentive to take a guy like Gerald Everett. So I don't think that's a bad move at all. I'm super into pairing anything really this year, whether it's, I guess, stacking a quarterback and his tight end or his receiver, or maybe you just take you end up taking the 2 running backs like Clyde Edwards and Damian Williams. You could take Miles Sanders and Boston Scott, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, things like that. Or like what I did with Washington, Terry McLaurin and Steven Sims, like one of those dudes is going to lead the team in receiving every week. So that should even out. I guess you could even start pairing guys like Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow, because I have those guys being projected as the top 2 targets. With this whole Corona thing, man, and NFL just came out with their thing where they said they're going to be putting players on IR for 3 weeks. They're creating this special COVID IR where it's not going to count against the real one, I think. So they're expecting players to sit for 3 weeks. So, I mean, if anything happens, you got to have depth. I highly recommend, getting if you're not the commissioner of your league, get a conversation going with him now. Start asking questions like, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? Just kind of get on top of that so you guys can start planning for your roster setups. At the moment right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm hoping the platforms that we use for fantasy football I'm hoping that they all wise up and kind of create these COVID IR spots for us where we can just have unlimited COVID spots and you just drag your guy into there whenever it happens. Um, Otherwise, I'm probably just going to do unlimited IR spots this year, which, people could use them, you know, as they wish. So I don't know. We'll kind of keep on looking here as we enter the 16th round. Irv Smith, Phillip Rivers, Royce Freeman, Eric Ebro, Drew Lock, Chris Herndon, Sammy Darnold. Quarterbacks are getting slim pickings. Tyrod Taylor. Man, we're down to Derek Carr, Dwayne Haskins. We're just going to snag Derek Carr because we missed on Hunter Renfrow. I think, Derek Carr got snagged, man. Derek Carr got snagged. So we're going to go with Uncle Dwayne Haskins. I really don't even know if this is a useful pick. He had like 2 good games last year. I mean, we got Minshew and Stafford. Can these guys hold the fort? I don't know. Tua might be a fun pick. I'm just going to shut up and take Dwayne Haskins, the last of the main starting quarterbacks. Go ahead and look here at receiver. Anyone sticking out? Randall Cobb got snagged, I believe. Yeah, he did. Receivers are our strongest part of the team. I mean, at this point, if you play in a redraft, you're probably not drafting 20 players. So, your draft would kind of, be done now. So these guys are all kind of super deep stashes. If you're in dynasty leagues, I guess this is good stuff to listen to. So I'll find some guys here. I'll find some fun guys for us to keep an eye on. And then, like I said, this was a $5.50 league. We're trying to win the $10,000. I don't know if we did it, but you got to risk it for the biscuit. And I'm banking on Saquon Barkley, being a boss running back 1. And I think I got enough bodies here to fill in an RB2 slot for the season. We're going to have a battle between so just one spot. We got Ronald Jones, Tariq Cohen, A.J. Dillon, Antonio Gibson. So maybe, I don't know if you could really even find anyone else at this point that can help us, but we'll look. Gerald Everett, Sternberger is going to get a lot of play time. Tyler Eifert's a starter. Tyler Eifert might not be terrible, but I'm feeling pretty good about Jared Cook and Rob Gronkowski right now. Let's just peruse here. Carlos Hyde's going to get some run with the Seahawks. Darwin Thompson, no one's really into him anymore, huh? What about Danny Woodhead? Is he still around? Yeah, running backs are not good. Jalen Samuels, maybe. Benny Snell. Ooh, what if I did that? What if I targeted handcuff Benny Snell? Handcuff hours? We're going to try it. Benny Snell. We're going to handcuff Benny Snell here. I don't even have James Conner, but if anything happens to James Conner, it seems like the team really likes Benny Snell, and he would be the guy that gets the bulk of the carries. I know they took Anthony McFarland, but I think they took Benny Snell higher than McFarland. And McFarland seems like kind of like a gadget receiver. He seems like more of a guy that would take over for Jalen Samuels if anything happened, whereas Snell's got the bigger body, bigger legs. He would be the primary backup for James Conner. So just adding another depth here, another body at the running back position. Let's recap the roster. Matt Stafford, Gardner Minshew, Dwayne Haskins. I feel confident that those guys can hold us down and get us, 20 points per game there. Saquon Barkley, he's going to be our RB1 every week that he's, besides his bye. We're going to have a competition for our RB2 spot every week between Ronald Jones, who I updated my projections, guys, and I'm starting to fade Keyshawn Vaughn. All right, sorry, we had some technical difficulties. We're back to go now. I had to kind of reload the lobby and get the Zoom share going back again. Let me just get down here to where we're drafting. So we didn't miss any picks. That's good. But I was going to talk about Ronald Jones and how I updated I'm updating my projections, and I keep bumping down Keyshawn Vaughn by about 3 or 4 carries a day, like all week. I had him at like 175 carries. He's down to about 160. Gave those to Ronald Jones. Even at 203 carries, that's like 12, 13 carries a game. So he's up at 203 carries, 905 yards, 8 touchdowns, 32 receptions. 275 yards and a touchdown. And I'm actually feeling like low on these numbers. I'm feeling low on Ronald Jones's receiving numbers. He could be a 1,000-yard rusher too. Last year he had 31 catches, 40 targets, 309 receiving yards, no touchdowns. So that's, to me, it feels like Ronald Jones's floor because he's a good receiver. People like to knock him for it, but he can do it. And then when I updated these numbers into the running back numbers here, Ronald Jones pumps in at RB20, and I feel like I'm low on him. So if you're digging the content that I've been putting out, every year I get like tingly feelings for players, and sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but this one feels good to me. Of all the running backs here, guys like these are my favorite three. I guess my favorite four in the second tier of running backs, I guess, or the RB2s. And that's going to be Ronald Jones, Tariq Cohen, Damian Williams, Kareem Hunt. These are the running backs that I have winding up on my teams more often than any other running backs. So I'm going to continue to probably pump these guys, but just think about it. You should probably try to like at least one or two of those guys I'm going to recommend. So sometimes it takes a little time to get used to new ideas, but I'm into all those guys, and they keep coming onto my teams. And we got Ronald Jones and Tariq Cohen. I think in my mock draft, I want to say I almost got all four of these guys earlier today. I didn't record it, but you could fade running backs and end up with a team, of these four guys. And then you just pump in a couple other guys. Maybe you get a James Conner or Le'Veon Bell in the third or something like that. But anyways, we're cruising here. Not cruising. This is a slow draft. We're into the 18th round. If you're still listening, shout out to you. Congrats. Let me know in the comments if you made it. That'd be really cool. So cruising along here in the 18th round. It might be a good idea for me to snag Jalen Samuels just to get the final handcuff position on that. I don't know what Samuels did last year in a game log. Was it even worth looking at? A 15.5, a 19.3, and it looks like he had one more bamboozle here. I can't read it. A 23.54. So he only had 3 games that would have been useful. At this point in the draft, like any games you can get, you're taking them. So tight ends, Everett's still available. I could get OJ Howard to back up Gronk. Maybe that's something. Howard's still going to be useful. Maybe he, pops in a couple 11s every now and then. OJ Howard actually might be the move here. It can't be worse than last year. He's going to be. I think Tampa's going to move to a couple more two tight end sets. We see Sternberger go here. I like Knox. I like Tyler Eifert. He had, looks like, only 2 or 3 games he would have been useful last year, but he's the clear starter in Jacksonville with Minshew. So that could be something. We know we don't need quarterback. I feel really good about the receivers. I don't know if there's any receiver that I would even – maybe Devin Funchess here. He can catch a couple touchdowns. Anybody else? Bueller. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever happened to Reggie White Jr.? Yeah, I don't know, man. Receiver, I feel pretty good about what we got. We got, 5 top 20 receivers, so I think I'm going to wait. We got 6 quality receivers. This might just be a spot for us to – but then even then, a tight end, does that really help us? I guess my question right now is I'm probably overthinking it, but can any of these running backs help us win a fantasy championship this year? Anything happens to Joe Mixon, is Giovanni Bernard going to get it? I'm just going to take Jalen Samuels. If anything happens to James Conner, they're going to use Snell and Jalen Samuels together. So fine, whatever. We got 7 running backs, so I think we're fine there. We got 2 more picks to make. I'm going to snag OJ Howard, I think, with this next pick. Just wait a sec here. But we're really just handcuffing guys here. But I've been doing best balls for 4 or 5 years now, and the teams that I don't handcuff, they struggle. you have to handcuff a little bit. You can't go all into it. But when you take a guy like Gronk, it's his first year back, in a little while. I think they're going to run more 2 tight end sets. OJ Howard could end up, being the guy that gets forgotten by the defense and just kind of messes them up behind them. And Tom Brady loves his tight ends. This could be a tight end. What's the over under on OJ Howard tight end touchdowns this year? Like 4? Like, you going to take the over under 4? I'm probably going to put him right at 4, but worst case scenario, he ends up catching 3 touchdowns, and maybe he starts 3 games for us that week. So we got one more pick here to make. We're cruising along here. Is everything? All the audio levels are looking okay here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to probably start to wrap this video up. I just want to say thank you to listening. I'm going to probably work on this and get this uploaded before I head out Friday night to go hang out with some friends. But anyways, I don't know, best ball drafts. Let me know if you have any questions on best ball. I'm probably going to be doing a lot of these. I think I'm going to probably try to speed these up because I don't know if you guys have time to listen to me for an hour talk about football players. So we'll see how it goes. But we got one more pick to make. I might be able to telegraph it here and let you guys know, and we can sign off here. Is there any receiver that I like? Miles Boykin could be fun. But I feel really good about the receivers that we got here. These guys should get us to go a long way. We got 3 good tight ends. A tight end that I've been interested in and snagging as my last pick is Nick Boyle with the Baltimore Ravens, because Hayden Hurst is gone, and they do have Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews might have missed a game or 2 or something last year. But Nick Boyle, outside of Travis Kelce, Nick Boyle was the second highest tight end in terms of offensive snaps, meaning he did not come off the field. He's primarily a blocker, but he's always on the field. And he has the ability to, maybe produce 4 or 5 touchdowns, I think, this year with Hayden Hurst gone. So that might be another reason to like Mark Andrews, because he's going to be on the field even more. And I think the load's just going to fall on both Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle being on the field more together. So maybe that's our final, spot at tight end. Receivers are pretty much, I don't even know what to think about receiver at this point. Yeah, no one's really sticking out here. Man, we went heavy on the Tampa Bay offense in this one. We got 4 Tampa Bay flex players, so that's kind of fun. Rashad Penny's an interesting guy. I just read some really promising reports on him. I guess this was from May, but it looks like he's running and doing everything well again. He's going to start the season on the PUP list because he did blow out his knee in week 14 or something last year. But he's on the road to recovery. He's probably going to miss the first 6-7 games. And who knows what happens? They might ease him in, but who knows? Maybe by week 10, 11, 12, Rashad Penny, starts getting loose again. Because right before he got hurt, he played 2 of his best games of his career. So he was kind of starting to get me excited. I had a couple of dynasty shares with him. So he might be a guy that I got in the 20th round. I got nothing to lose, and no one's gonna take Rashad Penny. We can kind of filter by team here. Maybe a guy where's Hakeem Butler anymore? I can't even find Hakeem Butler. What the hell? It's down 1,000. Looking at Atlanta players, Olamide Zaccheaus. Cole Beasley gone. Gabriel Davis might be a guy to keep an eye on. I was actually thinking about taking Taysom Hill here. You see him go. Carolina, we don't really care what Carolina does at receiver after their top 3. I don't know. This is looking pretty dry here. Who is the receiver I was thinking about for Washington? Antonio Gandy-Golden, because Kelvin Harmon tore his ACL, so he's gone. So this big receiver here for the Washington Redskins could be a guy to keep an eye on. And they also have a tight end. Where's his name? It's Logan Thomas. He's been previously, think he was the quarterback back at Virginia Tech. He converted to tight end in the combine. They don't really have a starting tight end. So Logan Thomas might be the guy that runs away with that starting job there. This guy just dug up Adam Humphries out of the friggin' nowhere. It's a good find, actually. Chris Conley, he had some nice plays with Gardner Minshew last year. Conley kind of popped off every now and then. 1-2 games over double digits, a third, a fourth, a fifth. Chris Conley might be the guy here. If anything happens to DJ Chark, Conley could be that next man up. See Gus Edwards just get picked. I mean, I'm interested in a guy like, let's look at Green Bay. I mean, is it Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Equanimous St. Brown? I mean, these are all options. Kansas City, a guy like Byron Pringle. I really don't know. I'm kind of uncomfortable with picking players that just don't make sense right now. I'm just going to go ahead here and I'm going to take Rashad Penny. We'll see what happens. It's just a dice roll. We got tons of running backs now. Nothing to lose in the 20th round. I could have taken an extra tight end, but that's going to do it. If you stuck around to the end, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, we're going to probably do another one of these sometime next week. I'll do another mock draft video as well. But again, $5.50 on the drafters.com for this. We're going to try to win the $10,000 with a few lineups the next couple weeks. So yeah, thank you for your time. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you in another video. Peace.